Scott Narver. I'm so excited about the Royal Rumble.
Jake Lloyd Bacon, I guess I'm excited.
Come on, there's so many fascinating things at play. We got CM Punk, we got Gunther, we got Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
This is going to be the greatest Royal Rumble.
No, it's not the greatest Royal Rumble. The greatest Royal Rumble is in Saudi.
Yeah, but this one's in Florida.
Florida's the Saudi of America. This will be the greatest Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble anticipation today on Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey, Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Hello to everybody joining us out there, listening in the pod feeds. Thanks so much. It's fun to be here, but it's especially nice to be here with the patrons via the super exclusive patron-only live stream. If you would like to get in on the action and join us live for these recordings, then you got to do so over at patreon.com/pwpalskis.
You gotta.
I got distracted there because YouTube is doing that fun thing where it has the little green light. You know how there's like a light that lets you know how good your stream quality is? It's like green, yellow, and red.
I'm always streaming. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Clearly, obvious.
It's green, which usually means excellent condition, but then the word next to it says no data. So that's really fun and exciting. But I can tell we're there.
You might be hooked up to a heart monitor.
Oh, shit. Wait,
that might be what that is.
Wait, does YouTube not? It beeps, right? When you're streaming on YouTube, it goes like beep, 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 beep. That's part of the service, right?
But when you have no soul, it says no data.
Oh, and it just goes beep.
Soulless.
Speaking of no souls and machines, that's kind of a transition. We must acknowledge the current PWP champ, Binary. See? Binary, no machines, robots, kind of. AJ0314. AJ.
I wasn't aware that AJ is a cyborg.
AK. Well, I mean, they've got numbers and their retribution name is Binary. So I always imagined them as sort of like, you know, cybernetic.
Cool.
Yeah. So like RoboCop.
Right.
Like there's still, maybe soulless was a bad transition because there's still a soul. It's just, you know, questionable.
Well, in one of the versions. I can't speak for the remake. I
never saw the remake. As much as I love Michael Keaton, I never saw it.
Yeah, there's good parts in it, but that guy who plays RoboCop,
yeah,
real dud.
Yeah, I don't even know who it is. That shows you how little star power he has.
It's the guy, Colonel Flag from Suicide Squad. Like, he's just boring.
He is so generic. He's like generic action guy.
He's generic TV acting guy.
Yeah.
And then in Suicide Squad, he woke up a little bit just because everybody's so fun around him. They had no choice. But yeah, I don't know that guy's name. But that RoboCop, it's funny when they do the reveal of, in that one they show, this is not a movie podcast, how much of Alex Murphy is left.
Oh, really?
They show how much is Robo and how much there is Cop.
Got it.
And I feel like the real realization in that scene where the movie totally lost me is his dick is gone.
Oh.
Spoilers.
This is not a movie podcast.
To really flip out, it's like, hey, your foot could be gone. Maybe you're missing a hand or a finger. Like that he's just not screaming for 4 minutes about, where's my dick? My dick is gone.
Joel Kinnaman. Is his name. Joel Kinnaman. Handsome gent. But
sure.
He looks like the stock creator wrestler in WWE 2K24.
I'm sure Dominic Dijakovic's family is like, I loved you in RoboCop. He's like, that's not me.
Dom and Nick Dijakovic. Anyways, this is a wrestling podcast where
did you just question who that is?
No, I was doing our truth bit where he's been calling Dominic Mysterio, Dom, and Nick Mysterio, like those two people.
I didn't hear the and. I apologize. Drink your hot cocoa.
It's warm. It's the Royal Rumble this weekend, Scott Narver.
No.
Yeah. No, it is.
What?
Wait, do you not believe me? Because it's happening.
Well, there's only one of them, right?
What do you mean?
Only one event, Royal Rumble to rule them all.
One event called the Royal Rumble? Yes, there's only one event called the Royal Rumble.
They got to fix it. They got to call it WWE Royal Rumbles.
They really should. Royal Rumbles. Royals Rumble. I think we do this bit every year.
Because casual fans are going to be tuning in and going like, wait a minute, there's two of them?
I mean, it makes sense that there's one for the lady and one for the men. It'll be a real problem when we start getting the mid-card Royal Rumble. And
we
NXT,
need the 205 Live Royal Rumble. We need the NXT Royal Rumble. Everybody needs one.
I do miss when NXT would have the like mini event that happened the day before, and then the winner of that got to be in the Royal Rumble instead of just like, hey, which 5 guys from NXT are going to be in the Rumble this year?
Let's be honest. They could be having it and you wouldn't watch it.
I mean, yes, that is 100% fair. When I said I missed when they did that, what I meant to say is I missed when I liked NXT. That was the grand statement of
there.
That.
You go.
Anyways, we thought that we should probably talk about the Royal Rumble this weekend because I don't know. I know Scott, you and I we're pessimistic old men who think there's too much silliness in pro wrestling sometimes. But
no, it's not necessarily silliness. It's just
I know. I was
unbelievable.
I was doing some bits. But I was trying to get at is I think you and I both do. We do like a Royal Rumble. There's an excitement.
You're right.
To it.
I do like a Royal Rumble.
Wow. Yeah. So you're standing on the soapbox and you're telling everybody that you don't think there should be a men's Royal Rumble. You think they should just have the women's one.
I think it should be all of them. I think throw them all in there.
Oh, I get it.
Like how the bathroom should be.
I'm gonna change my name for everybody to watch here. Look, that's my name right there. I just heard what you said.
If we all got to poop together, we all got to rumble together. That's what I say.
I mean, okay, listen, let's just get right into this. I'm going to take this silly bit you're doing and turn it into a legitimate conversation. For a while, there would be a woman that would show up in the Royal Rumble, and it was fun and exciting. But then they introduced the Women's Royal Rumble, and then they still had a woman show up every now and then in the Rumble, in the Men's Rumble.
Only once.
Was it only one time?
Yeah, it was Nia Jax.
Okay. I feel like that undermines the entire Women's Royal Rumble by having a woman be like, no, I want to go in this one instead.
And it even with the the progressive guys and stuff, like they may not say it out loud, but everybody else would be like, hey, what the hell? Well, then why not let a guy into the Women's Rumble?
Right, of course.
And even those of us, it's like you're still thinking it. It's like, well, I kind of want to see a guy go in the Women's Rumble.
Well, it's also a matter of like, are we leaning into more of the sports part of this entertainment by being like, okay, listen, there's we have like the GMs and we have like there's rules and we're really big into contracts now, where even though there's still silliness and not that long ago.
Yeah, how are they getting in there?
Exactly. Who's going? Yes, you are like, I thought this was supposed to be sanctioned and there's supposed to be divisions.
Balls out of a tumbler.
Yeah, exactly.
No, is it just the GM assigning people? Because when there was just a men's one, say, and we had China go in there or a Beth Phoenix,
right?
It's this proclamation of, I'm so good, I can beat up the men and I could win the world title.
Right. That I am not.
Which is just for the men. Like that's the proclamation. But now when we have the two, it's still the same stakes of like, are you going for the men's title?
Right.
Because there's only a couple world titles. Are you sure?
With that said, if there wasn't a Women's Royal Rumble, which I am glad there is. I know that it is a lot. I almost feel like, I don't know, maybe it should be a 2-night show. No, I'm kidding. But if there wasn't a Women's Royal Rumble, I do feel like Rhea would be that new archetype of like, because she's already beating the crap out of it. Like, Rhea should go and she should win the fucking thing. Rhea should dethrone Roman Reigns. There we go. I'm saying it right now.
It's just a tough overall for a 30-man and a 30-woman, and you're just guaranteed an hour for both at minimum.
Right.
It's hard to just have that level of excitement both times and to be that creative throughout 2 fucking Rumbles of go like, oh, we'll have surprises. We'll do some crazy spots. We'll do this. And then we'll do it again in an hour and a half. But like, we'll do it all over again. And this one will be better. Or, how do you manage that? I think ultimately it does need to be some sort of separate event to have people excited again.
Right.
To do it all in the same night. That's so fucking tough.
It really is.
Because it's just going to feel less.
It's also
one of them will always just be comparatively less.
It's also just an entire night of people counting backwards at events where they usually count up at least to 3 multiple times.
And usually they're not in sync with the counter.
Oh, they never are. They always go too fast. People,
so excited.
Anytime there's ever a countdown for anything, New Year's Eve, no matter what it is, whenever there's a countdown and there's a clock going, humans are incapable of knowing how long a second is, even if there is a guide on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Every human goes 3, 2, 1. Motherfucker, slow down. Get your Mississippi
and they never
in
do
there.
The buzzer.
What'd you say?
They never do the buzzer. They'll count.
Oh, sometimes they do,
but they don't go. They don't make another noise. They don't do the Cody whoa. they got to start getting into some buzzer noise.
So you should go to the Royal Rumble, okay, and make signs that everybody will look at during each countdown so they know what wrestling sound to make at the end. So you can have a sign that says woo, right? You can have a sign that says like Shinsuke music. So they count down and then they go, oh, even if that's not whose music is playing. It'll be really confusing for the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
think that works.
Are you excited for these Rumbles this weekend, Scott?
I'm excited for a Rumble.
Yeah.
It's the Women's Rumble is honestly difficult at times because there doesn't feel like 30 real competitors for a world title. And when you eliminate someone like Rhea Ripley out of the title picture because she's champ, you eliminate Charlotte out of it because she's injured.
Right.
And you go like, no, there's only like 2 real people that can win this thing.
I mean,
so
I think you're slightly exaggerating, but I understand the sentiment. Yeah.
I mean, 2 real people that are going to be WrestleMania worthy.
Sure.
Of fighting Rhea or who is it? Io Sky? Is the other champ?
I don't even know. No, it's Charlotte. Didn't you just say it's Rhea and Charlotte?
No, Charlotte's injured.
Yeah, I don't even know who the champ is on the other side.
Well, that furthers my point because they're not going to face that person.
Got it. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's there's not enough major star power. The men's is stacked. The men's there feels like there's a lot of possible winners for a lot of shakeups of what could happen. And there's just not that many mega star ladies or that are they're not there yet. I know Triple H is building all of this and working to all that, but it's just not there. So
to clarify,
will I be excited for the last 10 minutes of that Rumble?
Right.
Sure.
You are correct. It is Io Sky who is the WWE Women's Champion. All right. Well, let's talk about who do we know is in. Let's talk about the women's first. We'll start there.
Okay.
Who do we know is in the Women's Rumble?
Confirmed are Bayley, Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, and Bianca Belair. That's a lot of B's.
And you're including Nia in that, right?
Well, she's a big old B.
I mean, it does sort of seem like that's just your final 4 right there. Yeah. I mean,
it very well could be.
Yeah. Unless there's a returning like Sasha Banks, which I think that we've learned wasn't happening. I know there was rumored that she might be.
I don't know.
Trying to
that
come
seems
back.
pretty far-fetched. I feel like that's, the quote-unquote journalist trying to make a story out of nothing.
Okay, that's fair.
She was hardly ever Mercedes Moné. She hardly ever did anything.
Right.
She got injured pretty fast. She was doing stuff with New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong.
Right.
I think there's a lot of stuff that she was still angling to do.
Right.
To then, and the Hollywood shit too, that she's going to immediately go back to WWE. I don't know about that.
Right. you've got the women's tag champions, Katana Chance, aka Casey Catanzaro, and Kaden Carter. God, we went from tons of B's to too many cuss sounds.
Because
CK and CK, or
they're
I'm sorry,
not gonna win.
KC and KC. They don't have a title match, so I'm assuming they'll be in it because they can't have a title match. Because if they had a title match, that would be 4 women who they couldn't put in the Rumble, and they need those 4 women in the Rumble.
That's very true.
So that's why
it's another year, and it's always frustrating when they don't lay out, hey, if you have a match that night,
right,
you can't be in the Rumble, or you can be in the Rumble.
Right. At least let us know. Let the fans know ahead of time. Lyra Valkyra. I don't know how they say her name. In
what
NXT.
The hell?
She's
Valhalla?
the NXT. She's, not Taya Valkyrie is what I should call her. I still don't know why you had someone named Taya Valkyrie, and then you named this person Lyra Valkyra.
Oh,
Valkyria.
Jesus Christ.
She's the NXT women's champ. I'm sure we'll see her in there. I'm sure that they'll try to make her look good just by having her be the NXT women's champ, but I don't think that there's I
would think there's a couple other people. There's a couple other ladies that would sooner get that spot than her. I think Nikita Lyons has a possibility of showing up in there.
Right. Absolutely.
She's made more of a splash.
Alba Fire and her partner, the other like gothy girl, whose name I forget.
Valhalla?
Yeah, the other Valhalla. You know what? I think that maybe Chelsea Green might have a good showing here.
Okay, so you're not talking about NXT people, you just jumped.
Oh no, I wasn't. I'm sorry. The only reason I brought up NXT was because I'm on the website and I'm looking and she's the champ. So I was just going through I was literally scrolling top to bottom to look at who the women on the roster.
Champ of what? Chelsea Green?
No, Chelsea isn't. No.
The hell is going on here?
I brought up what's her face, Lyra Valkyra, because she's the NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, and then you said Chelsea Green.
Yeah, because now I'm just thinking of women who might be big players in the roster in the Rumble. Okay.
See, this is like Triple H dealing with Bruce Pritchard. Just two minds that are just not in sync with each other. And then Kevin Dunn goes, "That's it, I'm leaving. You guys are fighting."
I mean, is Asuka injured? The Kabuki Warrior or the
I don't see. I feel like there's a couple other ladies that might be injured. Overall,
no.
Let's say this just for the sake of there's probably going to be men and women that we mentioned. It's like, oh yeah, they could probably win, and they're injured. And at this point, there's so many fucking wrestlers that are injured. Right. I cannot keep track amongst AEW, amongst WWE. Just there's a lot at this point. It's pretty.
Although I do think Asuka and what's her name recently returned the
Kairi Sane?
Yes, thank you, Kairi Sane. They're I think trying to challenge Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter for the women's tag championships. Whether or not, again, I can't imagine it happens at Rumble as the event, meaning the tag title match, because I'm sure they want all 4 of them in the Rumble. So Asuka could be in the Rumble and come down to the final 4, but because she's in the tag title picture, I can't imagine
double duty.
She's likely to win. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless that seems like she's got another thing going on.
Yeah. Unless they're going to try something with her and Io because they're friends. They're in the same group, that kind of thing. Like,
what do you mean by same group, Jake?
I fucking hate you sometimes. Yeah. You're not wrong. I mean, the women's roster, like there's so much talent, but I do see what you're saying though. It's like,
It's not WrestleMania.
It's not star
headlining against a Rhea. Because that's where you got to feed. You can't have this major event. You can't have the Royal Rumble, 30 women vying for the spot, and then going, all right, are you going to fight the big megastar Rhea Ripley? No, I'm going to fight Io.
Right.
Like that's the lesser one. Like it doesn't fucking fly.
Right.
Even if there is history with Io, it's just not as big as Rhea. You would be looked at as like, you fucking coward? You're fighting the other champ?
Right.
Come on. It doesn't really fly. And I think they did a good job in recent weeks with Nia Jax. Like they had done that buildup of her and Becky fighting, and they made Nia seem like a threat, and Becky had to overcome this obstacle of like, I never beat her. And then Nia ends up beating Becky to maintain this momentum of, yeah, she didn't stop me.
Right.
She was powerful. She was great, but she never went through me.
Right.
So she maintains that going in, and it's like, okay, she's a threat, and that seems credible and cool. That'll be a mountain to overcome at the Rumble. But like you said, Final Four, I think there's probably some alumni that you can maybe throw in there. I do think that we will get a debut of someone at the Rumble. I think that's when we'll see Jade Cargill.
Oh, Jade Cargill, right. That's I think that's a pretty strong bet to make for sure.
I think they've worked out probably enough stuff by then of, hey, cameras, music, intro, this, that, the other. She can look great. She can eliminate a bunch of gals. She can be thrown out, but still maintain her prowess and just look like a star.
Right.
But I think this is where you do it. I think this is where you introduce her, because if she just shows up on a SmackDown or a Raw in between now and then, because she could be eliminated, and then she could still be someone that, I mean, if you're going really big on her debut and then saying like she's the eventual person to fight Io Sky, say, for the other title,
right.
That would still be a strong enough introduction to make it credible.
Right. I do feel like there's a couple names on the list too that they could make stars or remake stars. For example, like Shayna Baszler, I feel like at one point
she needs it.
Was at the top. She was at the absolute top of the totem pole as far as like enjoy good matches, good character, just like good wrestling character, and now
believable. And then
she's tagging,
pandemic neck biting.
Yeah, but then like she's tagging, and it's like, okay, she's probably doing good work wherever she's doing it, but they could put something on her, meaning some heat. But yeah, there really isn't a lot. Like you said, there isn't a lot of. There's a chance this woman's gonna win it. That's what we're missing.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, when it comes to, kind of in the past, like either recent stars or older stars of the women's division, like Deonna Purrazzo just signed with AEW. So she's out. The Bellas seem to be on the outs with WWE right now.
Right.
I'm sure Eden is ready to sign up, old Brandy Rhodes, but I can't.
I don't want to see her in the ring.
Amongst some famous, couples, like Brandy Rhodes, I think they ultimately say like, we don't want the spotlight taken away from Cody. I'd say the same thing is with AJ Lee, with the talks of her being around and doing something like that. I think the same thing where it's like, it's not time yet.
Well, here's the thing though.
For a year from now.
I think the difference with AJ Lee is they could bring AJ Lee back and have her and Punk not even be on screen, and it's fine. I think AJ Lee and Punk can do what Seth and Becky have done, where they can both be, stars in their own without constantly being in each other's, storylines and whatnot.
Well, here's what I would say to that. AJ Lee would be wrestling on WWE television then before CM Punk would. Which seems a little odd.
I'm not saying that she could be in the Rumble, but I'm saying you could bring her in and it wouldn't be. But I understand what you're saying. Yes,
I'm saying in a year from now, I think it totally works in a Rumble spot. Sure. Like if we were having this conversation, I think she hasn't showed up yet.
The difference too is that like Brandy didn't become a star on her own, and so there is something to be said about if you bring in Brandy Rhodes, it's because of Cody Rhodes, who is the reason why we all really know her. And that's not to say she wasn't talented in the variety of things she did, but she is intrinsically attached to this person. Whereas AJ Lee was a star before she ever fucking started dating Punk. What is
said bitterly, you're engaged, okay? Let it go.
I was gonna say, what is going on with Alexa Bliss? Because
hopefully she is due for a return. The injuries are cleared up by now, I would hope.
Because I feel like
she's been injured for a while.
That's a big name that could come and do something. Also, was it last year that we had old here's your gear in a garbage bag herself, Mickie James, when she was the Impact champion? She came out wearing the Impact championship. Was that last year?
I think it was a couple of years ago.
Oh, really? Gosh, time is a fat circle, as a wise man once said. But I do feel like, trash bag aside, she, her husband's now there. And
are you talking about Nick Aldis, the trash bag?
Yeah. What do you call him?
I call him Teabag because he's British.
Teabag? What? Oh,
Teabag.
T-E-A. Got it. Like an actual teabag, not the dirty thing that we all learned about when we were.
I mean, same, right? It's all about the dipping.
Do you dip? Do you like put your teabag in and then lift it back out again?
Sure do.
You don't just let it steep in there?
Hey, I dip, I steep, I do it all.
Oh boy. Dip and steep, by the way. Those are that's a tag team down at NXT.
Yeah, dip and steep, they're good. Teabaggers. But there's like a Z in there and a 3.
All right. So what about surprise returns? I mean, I know I just brought up Mickey, but are there any other God, it's just with the ladies, it's tough because the quote big names all feel like they come around
most of them at this point. I don't know if Jazz has come back for any of the Rumbles. I don't recall Jazz ever showing up, and that's one I still hold out hope for. And I don't think we ever got Victoria. We saw her in Impact recently, and that would still be one where it's like,
wait, did she not come back for a Rumble recently? Probably not. Yeah. Those two.
We saw her show up in January, show up in Impact. We did a watch along.
Santino, right?
And so it was right around the time of maybe she got a call for one, and then went, well, they're not going to call me for the Rumble. They're like, you just showed an Impact, gross. And she's like, what? Can't I work for both? Oh, why?
Yeah.
So Victoria and Jazz are two that I think would be really cool, but the likelihood of, your Stacey Keeblers, your Tori Wilsons.
Right.
Ivory killed it that one year when she came back as the right to censor version of Ivory. That was
so
fucking
fun.
Great.
Yeah. And it was perfect because she didn't need to do a lot in wrestling, come back. Well, probably, I mean, they always like to bring out Molly Holly. She's always a delight. That's an easy, it's Molly Holly. She could be Mighty Molly if they want to do a bit with it, just something different.
It's not huge. Trish has been back for a while, and whether she's hurt or not, too, I don't.
Trish and Lita seem less exciting now because it's been more recent that we've seen them.
And there's just so many where we also go, they're not gonna fucking win.
Right? They might do Karma, maybe.
I'll say this before we get into a couple more of the big returns. This would be something that I'd really like to see Triple H book differently than what previous WWE regime has done. The legends in WWE for so many years now have just been hey, look, they showed up and they did kind of a cute thing, and they lost, and we don't believe they have any status anymore.
Right.
If every so often a legend returns and was just a threat, or you go, there's still that fucking on that top tier.
Get to the end, even if it's Final Four.
Yeah. Be a fucking badass legend, and then they still lose, or you're surprised that they lost because somebody got one over on them.
Right.
That'd be so different to see if Triple H would do that. I don't know if everyone's so conditioned to do it the one way and they can't break out of it, but I'd really like to see that change, because when we're seeing these legends, that we don't just all think of the WrestleMania moments where, hey, look, 20 of them got together and said all their catchphrases and then they danced.
Yeah. Or everybody hit their finisher on whoever the current comedy guy, a comedy heel is.
Right.
Yeah. Like when, for a while, I feel like that was the only reason Heath Slater was employed. It was like, hey, we need you to be here whenever a legend shows up so you could take a clothesline from hell from JBL or whatever.
And the DX segments are just as guilty with that.
Yeah, 100%.
They have they have their status still because Triple H is with them, but it's like, yeah, build on that. Make it bigger and better than that. So that way, when we see a Hall of Famer come back in the women's division, if a Molly Holly shows up and eliminates 3 people, and we go, holy shit,
right,
she's fucking tearing through them. Maybe she'll win. Right. I know not Cora Jade, she's injured as well, but someone.
Right.
And you go, oh shit. And maybe you believe there would be a match of these two or something down the line.
Right.
Scarlett, maybe? Maybe she gets a debut, shows up in ring.
Has she not wrestled in WWE since returning as this version of her?
Not that I'm aware of. I think she's always just been the valet, but who knows? Maybe they go, get the fucking boots, kid.
Right.
You got to get in there.
We got to hit 30.
Yeah, we're at 18 and we're really stretching it.
Is it really good? Do we think that there's a possibility that it's just like NXT is just very, very much on display here?
It could be. And that's what sucks too, is for the major audience that they see all these ladies come through and they go like, you're not going to win, or who the fuck are you? That's a bummer.
Yeah. Especially if it's like an introduction of multiple people to the audience. Cause it's one thing if, like I said earlier, like you're the one NXT person, then it's like, oh, cool. This is my way of, I remember when Rusev debuted in the Rumble or was brought up and there are a lot of people who didn't know him from NXT because people weren't watching it. That felt special. It felt like, oh, okay, what's going on in NXT? This guy's cool. He's interesting. He's big. He's barefoot.
He's got an Eiffel Tower on his back.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh man, wait, is it? We have. It's been a while. We have to do number 2 of best and worst wrestling tattoos to talk about the Eiffel Tower. But yeah, I feel like when you have 3 or 4 or 5 people from NXT, it's less special for all of them because it's not the one person who's like, hey, I'm down in NXT, but I'm ready, and you should keep an eye on me.
2 or 3, I'd say is, I think it's pretty good for your NXTs if you get in that number.
You think? Yeah.
Because if you always do the champ, that's just kind of like a cop out,
I agree, but it doesn't always have to be the champ. It could just be one of the people who's sort of, who's sort of big and scary down there.
I feel like it just be someone who says, I don't care about my contract. Fuck you. This is the Rumble.
Right.
Mickey Bell showing up in our chat here, giving us some info on some of the shit we talked about. Victoria was at the 2021 Rumble in the Thunderdome. No wonder I forgot.
That's what I thought. I could have sworn I remember.
Wait, was she on screen or was she actually in the Rumble?
No, she was in the Thunderdome. She was watching.
Yay, we like them. Yay, my arms went up.
Right.
Notable women who've not returned yet, he mentions, are Gail Kim, Eve Torres, and Caitlyn. Eve Torres, that's surprising. I would have thought she'd been back by now.
Eve Torres, is she the one that they called the Hosky and we all just went, yeah, it's funny?
I think everybody that Zack Ryder dates, right?
Well, it was actually John Cena who said it, though, that John Cena is a bad boy.
Medusa / Alundra, she's yet to do a Rumble. That seems like you got to hurry up on that.
Yeah, I just don't care. That it's not exciting to me.
No?
I don't know. I think do you want to know why? It's because I still feel like I've seen her a lot. So even though she hasn't maybe been in the WWE.
Well, you guys share a domicile, so.
We do?
Yeah. Is she not?
No.
Are you not like neighbors?
No, we're not neighbors. No.
Like one of those a duplex. You're in a duplex, right?
It's freezing out here. If Alundra Blaze was around, everything the snow would be melted.
Yeah. Well, but if you look at it in her eyes and she's Medusa, you turn right to stone.
Mickey also says that Naomi could appear. Isn't she sort of done with TNA?
I think so.
I think Naomi would be an example of somebody who they could bring back and immediately be like, yep, here we go. Final 4, like a legitimate threat. Like,
Io Sky, other champ.
Right.
Wrestler.
I'm not super, I like Naomi as a person more than I do as a wrestler. Like I don't dislike her and I'm happy when she's around, but I've never thought that.
You also love raves.
That's the problem is that she's dancing. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's get into this shit. And then she starts wrestling. I'm like, why'd you ruin the dance party?
Come on.
Turn the lights back.
Christy Hemme would also be another one that'd be fun to see.
That would be fun.
Yeah, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's what we're talking. It's like, yeah, a bunch of them aren't going to win. And it's the main ones that we're talking about with Rhea. I think Nia Jax is probably the one with the most eliminations, right? Her or Becky.
Oh, you mean for this year?
Yeah.
They'll probably make it. Nia. There's not a lot of other there are some powerhouses, but I don't know, because I think right now does Shayna Baszler hold the record? I think Shayna or Rhea. It's probably her or Rhea. Raquel
probably
Rodriguez Rhea. Also could be.
I think she's injured as well.
Everybody hurts.
That's what I mean. This one where it's going to be so inaccurate because I do not have a fucking master list of injured reserve people on here, and it's constant.
But I will say out of the names that Mickey Bell mentioned, I think Gail Kim could be an example of what you're talking about. Have Gail Kim come back and make her a threat, even if we don't think she's going to win. Plant a little seed of doubt. You know what I mean? Let her get to the final three and you know, fantastic. Now with all that said, do you have a prediction?
I feel like the matchup is Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
Same.
I think it's I'm really happy that Becky Lynch is grounded again.
Yep.
She's the man. That was the character that I really fell in love with and wanted to see the trajectory of it all, and not
said.
All the Seth Rollins versions of her that we've seen in between. Like, fantastic. That is the scrappy fucking fighter. And Rhea has now been placed in this dominant position, and Becky's story is now great that she's got flaws.
Yeah. Saying I liked her promo on a recent episode of whatever, where she talked about like the reality is
Rampage.
Rampage is back on track. Have you heard? Her saying like, oh, now once again I need to prove it to me because I actually think you might be better. And her saying that and not just being like, I'm the best and no one's going to beat me. And like, I love that character. Anytime there's a character that goes like, shit, you know what? Now I have some doubt. And so I'm proving it to you and me and everybody else. Yeah, really good.
And what's even cooler about that is it's when if they do fight at WrestleMania, I don't know who's going to win. Does Becky reclaim the glory and overcome Rhea? Does Rhea stay dominant and beat Becky? And Becky's still trying to figure out like, how do I get it back?
Right. Yeah.
Like that.
It's a good, that's the match. That's the match.
Fascinating and interesting to me. And it'd be, some of the other ladies would be cool. Like Bianca would be cool. I just don't think it's the major money story there just because Bianca right now is not as hot as she once was.
Yeah.
And
it's also like as great as Rhea is right now, like Rhea is the perfect example of what WWE needs to be doing. Is she's still kind of new, right? She's still a new shiny toy, even though she's been around for quite a few years. This is her first time in this position, right? At having the title for this long and being this dominant, having this character, having a faction that is, it's at first it was like, oh, this is Edge and this is Finn. And now it's like, fuck it. The faction is there to support Rhea Ripley. Like she runs this shit. And it's fun and shiny and new. And Bianca is also kind of fun, shiny and new. And so for a Mania card, having the new dominant and the old dominant and Becky, who's been around for a lot longer and who has been in this position before, that's just good booking.
Yeah. I think that's one. And I think, like I said before, I wasn't joking. I think the last 10 minutes of the Rumble will be very, very good.
I think agree. Yeah.
And I think we're just not there yet. I think we're a Rumble or two away from
stacked.
It'll be
roster.
More stacked.
Yeah. And by stacked, we don't mean a lot of people, but a lot of people that we could see winning it.
Breast implants.
Oh, gotcha. Oh. You want
stacked?
Gotcha. You want to go back to 2003?
Triple H is gonna be like, all right, look, Pop's called with one last request, and I didn't think it was unreasonable.
Why has everybody got little boobies now?
Triple H is like, that actually did make them all stars. I gotta say, holy shit.
Oh,
they all fall over a lot. They're all too top heavy.
I mean, listen, I'm not to dwell on it, but let's talk about it. Like, there is a level of the boss's daughter getting breast implants on his show that just never sat well with me. It always creeped me out.
Well, she didn't do it on the show.
Wait, she didn't? Did I dream that?
That was, you're thinking of Jim Ross's, ass surgery or whatever that was,
I don't. Mickey Bell says, I'm not a fan of repeat winners, so I just hope it's someone new.
There's a guy who never wants to win the Pro Wrestling Palskis Championship Battle Royal more than once.
Well, now we know, Mickey. Remember you said that. If you ever win it back to back, I'm going to be like, ugh. gosh.
He won again.
Repeat
Gross.
winners. Not a fan. By the way, Gilbert Short in the chat, in reference to me not remembering what episode or what show I was watching, wrote WWE Wednesday night, whatever. And that's
that's a good show.
It's a great fucking show. That we should
no stakes.
We should rename this show that, even though it doesn't happen on Wednesdays.
So yeah, who you going with for winner? Are you also saying
I agree.
Becky?
I think Becky is the story, but I could see where they are right now, them being like, we want to legitimize Nia. And even though I don't want her to win, she's probably I would rather any of those other women we talked about. I'd rather Alba Fire and the NXT champ Lyra Valkyra, whose name I can't pronounce. I'd rather them win personally together. I'd rather them win at the same time than Nia, but I could see them being like, hey, we want to add something to Nia. Because right now, Nia doesn't, other than the fact that, I broke the nose of the man or whatever, I broke the face of the man, whatever her bit is, she doesn't really have any claim. And I think that being like...
And Becky hasn't stopped her.
Right. Yeah.
I think we could get a potential face-off between Nikita Lyons and Nia Jax, which could be one of those, like, the big opposing forces in the ring. I think Jade Cargill will make a debut, and that'll be talked about. I think we'll have enough moments throughout that'll satisfy all of X's needs.
I'm really hoping that that Jade, like, I know it's easier in a Rumble because it's not a one-on-one match, so you don't have to do as much. But I do hope that if Jade debuts, and because it's going to be exciting because she's there, and it's like kind of the first big AEW made, a transfer like we talked about on a show a couple of weeks back. So it's going to be exciting, but I hope when she gets in the ring, it doesn't feel like she's not ready. It's easier in the Rumble because a lot of these women are probably going to feel that way. But
and when it's so spot heavy,
right? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah.
And hopefully it does transition from that, but I imagine it is like, that's when Katana, Chance, and Casey, all the fucking cuz,
the Casey's and the Bees,
like they have to do a thing. Jade hits a thing and then throws him out, and then the next one. That's probably what that sequence is.
Right. Yeah.
Just going off of old WWE formatting,
sure,
but who knows? And hopefully the song, their song game lately has sucked. So if Jade Cargill gets a shit song, that's no good.
Right. I can't even think of what her AEW theme was.
Whoa.
It's only smoke and mirrors.
Jade Cargill.
Oh, never mind. All right. Well, there are 2 title matches currently listed for the Rumble this weekend. The first is a U.S. title match between KO, which makes me believe he won't be in the Rumble.
He's had the spot a few times now where he gets the shit. Yep. Like, hey, you're in the title spot where you don't win the title.
I mean, it's because he's a fucking great worker and he makes everybody look good. And I'm not like, I don't like Paul, whichever one he is. I wish he wasn't there. And I wish he wasn't a champion.
Paul Levesque?
Yes, Paul. No, Punk. Paul Philip. No, that's Phil. God damn it. Fucking never mind. Timmy did the shit out of myself there. But I'm going to give him credit.
Like Logan Paul.
Yeah, but he doesn't necessarily need another person to make him look good. He's an incredible athlete, regardless of what I think of him as a person or a performer. He's a good athlete, right? He actually wrestles matches. Whether or not he should be the U.S. champion, debatable. But putting him...
what else is going on with that title? It doesn't matter.
But I'm going to say this. Putting him with KO is the first time that he actually has a fucking story, at least. Because when he first came into the WWE, it was with him and Sammy and KO was dogging on him and saying, I'm not going to fuck, so like, at least there's that. And KO is so good. He's one of my favorites. And I'm sure this will be fun,
Legit concern.
Yeah.
Legit concern.
KO murders him.
This sounds like a bit. Okay. It's not a bit.
Okay.
Logan Paul fighting Kevin Owens, to all of Logan Paul's fans that don't watch wrestling, I think Kevin Owens is a bad choice. I think Kevin Owens looks ridiculous to those fans. I think they pick on him because he's a fat guy, and he's a fat guy with dinosaur tattoos.
But he's not like he's not really that fat anymore. He's kind of like, I don't know. He's got a little belly.
To the internet fans, where they just be like,
the people who
see this guy? He's wearing shorts and he's kind of fat.
Right.
Was he a large kid with dinosaur tattoos? I just foresee them picking him apart and just being mean to him and say like, that's a wrestler?
I get what you're saying, but I think that he's so good that for Christ's sakes, I think the same reason why Triple H and before him, Vince McMahon liked Kevin Owens is the reason why other people might as well. Because it's like,
yes, but I don't think they'll ever see those moments. They won't see the highlights of Kevin Owens doing something cool.
Right.
They'll see Logan Paul doing something cool. And if he does any back and forth talking trash, like I haven't seen the segments of those two in their story.
Very good. I
just think that they will not be nice to him. Like when they saw him going against Roman Reigns or something, they'd be like, yeah, whatever. I guess that guy's kind of cool.
Right.
They couldn't really ream Roman Reigns.
Right.
I think the internet Logan Paul community will not be kind to Kevin Owens. I think that's the only downside of this, that I don't foresee Kevin Owens get enough since we know he's not going to win.
But here's my question though. They're booking Paul as the heel. Okay. So why
don't you say Logan?
What did you say?
Why do you keep saying Paul?
Because I keep forgetting Logan Paul. Okay, I'll remember. I just keep forgetting what his name is. I keep confusing him and Jake. So Logan
That's
Paul.
You.
So X-Men's Wolverine.
Worf.
No, that's Star Trek. If his fans are tuning in to root for him and he is being the heel anyway, does it matter that they're going to pick apart Kevin Owens?
They're not going to watch.
Oh, all right.
They're going to see this all on X and shit.
And his YouTube.
That's what they're watching. They're not going to watch it on Peacock.
All right. Well, I think the only thing that bums me out about this is that it means that Kevin Owens isn't in the Rumble, and I like Kevin Owens in Rumbles. But at least he's going to get a big payday.
Has he really ever been in any Rumbles at this point? Like featured prominently, it seems like?
There were a few great little moments with him just getting a standoff with people, but it was, it's not common. Because he's always, like you said, he's always in the spot.
Well, someday maybe he'll be a credible threat again and he could go into the Rumble. But yeah, it just feels like it's kind of a filler match and Logan's going to
retain.
Hopefully have a fun match with him. Yeah. Hopefully they put something together well, but it doesn't seem like something that it's I got to see this for anything.
So then we have the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship greatest Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns in a quadruple threat, as I like to call it. AJ versus Orton versus LA Knight. And those are three big players who are, again, assuming not going to be in the Rumble unless this happens first. And they are going to surprise us with one of them in the Rumble, which I don't think will happen.
It's pretty unlikely, I would say, because there's so many other men available.
And it just shows you the difference between the women and the men's divisions right now, where you could take three of the biggest names in the men's division that could be Rumble winners themselves and be like, yeah, you're all going to be in a match that you're going to lose against Roman Reigns, that everybody knows is going to lose.
And credit where credit is due right now. They're in our Discord, which is free to join. It's just the app of Discord, even for a non-tech savvy person like myself. If you think of Facebook, it's a place to just go and chat and talk about wrestling. Like we have a fun community there of our listeners and some other peeps. And all the shows of Dragon Wagon Radio are available there to join in on the forum and talk about. But ours of Pro Wrestling Palskis, there are people in the Discord that truly believe that Roman Reigns will lose the title at Rumble via somebody else or interference or something like that. So, I mean, I don't buy it for a second, but I think that's credit to the programming of WWE that they're doing right now, that they have that doubt. And that doubt makes wrestling so fucking fun when you go, shit, I think Roman's going to lose. And they're going to be sitting there going like, oh, he's going to win. He's going to win. He's going to win. Holy shit, he's going to win. Right. And you lose yourself in it.
Right.
So that's pretty fucking cool right there. That it is working. Because I look at it and I go, no fucking way that Roman loses this unceremoniously amongst one of the other guys.
Especially if one of them pins one of the other guys. Because it's not an elimination like we talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be even shittier, but people are buying it. So I think Roman retains. It's probably okay. These are hard to pull off.
Yeah, they really are.
Fucking four ways.
So the other competitors in the men's Royal Rumble that are already announced are Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Lashley, and Gunther. So there's 6 people right there that any group of those 4 could be the final 4.
Very true. I don't think Lashley's had the momentum lately, which is a shame.
No, but he's one of those guys that, and he's like a Sheamus.
Credibility could just shoot up real fast.
He's like,
you give him that win.
He's like Sheamus, where if at any given point Sheamus was in the final 2, you'd go, all right, maybe they're going to go back with Sheamus again. Like he's just like that, Bobby Lashley. At any given point, you can put the title on him and we'll go, yeah, he's a champion again. Whatever. He's been there before. Out of those, I definitely don't think, speaking of which, that Bobby Lashley will win. I don't think Shinsuke or Drew will win. I could see it being Punk. I could see it being Cody for number 2. I could see it being Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion winning the Royal Rumble. That, that could...
It's not there yet.
No?
It's very close. Okay. I think we're a year or 2 away from just the inevitable people start cheering the fuck out of him and they go like, we love you now. You didn't turn, we turned you. And him being that guy, because he has the record now for the longest reign in a men's Royal Rumble.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. The longest time, a minute. Yeah.
So whether or not he matches it or gets close to it again or gets the most eliminations, he's been the most protected guy in all of the transitional guys, like, guys like Roman who have already been established under Vince's regime. Gunther's fucking maintained. He's been on the streak. He's looked good the whole time.
Good matches.
He's not dancing.
Right.
Like nothing's drastically changed. It's only gotten better and better and better. And people are seeing this fucking megastar being created. So I think Gunther we're going to see Gunther's, I think, WrestleMania opponent show up from this.
Got it.
I think
right. It will be born from the Rumble, whoever is facing
the
him.
elimination will be, and then it'll turn into a grudge match. I'm thinking my prediction is it's finally Brock.
Right. Okay.
We've had the talk of Brock and him in the past. I think Gunther has reached that level now where last year with Brock fighting Omos and having the 2 giant, things that plays into the story well of, look, Brock just defeated a fucking giant and then he fought Cody and then that didn't happen, but he's never won the Intercontinental title. And here's a giant guy who he feels he's worth competing against.
His interests.
And now Gunther and him look different, which is also helpful.
That's true. Yeah.
I think that could be a really big matchup.
I think we had the 2 of them versus each other in our Championship of Champions 2, maybe from 17 years ago. By the way, if you haven't listened to or watched last week's episode, it was my favorite of all time. But I see where you're going with this. And to add to this Gunther situation, last year, Gunther was number 1. Okay. Lasted to the final 2. If you remember how that shit ended, him and Cody just put on a fucking great 10-minute long match.
Yep.
Cody came in number 30 last year. I think this year, number 1 is Cody Rhodes. He comes out and it's like, shit, I have to run the entire gamut now. And then whose music hits for number 2? Fucking Gunther.
Tamina. Gunther? Holy shit.
I think him and Gunther starting the Rumble could be great because that's how last year's ended. And I think
that'd be cool.
And I think like Gunther's like, shit, I already did this once. I came out 1. Even number 2 is also 1. The match still starts at the same time, but I think it's also a good reason why if he doesn't win, it's like, hey, he came out like you never get mad at someone who comes out 1 or 2 and doesn't win the Rumble. You never go like, oh, you couldn't get it done, Anyways, I think that could be a fun way to start.
The odds are stacked against you.
Yeah, I hope that starts that way because I think that's a fun way to start it. Also, you get the entire Cody entrance, which people will love. And then the Gunther surprise of Cody being like, shit, the last time I saw you, it was when I won the Rumble last time we faced. And I think that's fun.
And he just starts standing like this, protecting his chest like,
oh,
hey.
Don't smack my boobies. I don't like it.
That really hurt.
It hurts so bad. So who else? Do we think some surprises might show up here? The Rock, maybe.
I think The Rock is certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
This has talking about the head of the table, whether it's just a match or not, or whether it's just the preview of, does he fucking show up in the Rumble and people start talking, and that's his way of fighting, attempting to fight Roman.
Right.
I think you would want to build and promote that The Rock would be in the Rumble, but
I agree.
I also think there's a chance. That he could be a surprise entrance.
What is it's still Chamber in the middle, right? See, the problem with this is I don't see
Australia.
I don't see Rock in the Chamber. Oh wait, but sometimes they put the title in the Chamber. Because what I was going to get at was I could see Rock being in the Rumble, being eliminated in the Rumble by Solo and or Jimmy.
A bunch of people.
Right. But I meant specifically like Bloodline.
There's 29 other guys that want to get rid of him.
But I think like specifically like the Bloodline being like, oh, we're not going to let you even challenge Roman. And then Rock could in some way get himself back in the title picture. Now the reality is he doesn't need Rock could just come back and challenge and no one's going to question it. Rock, we don't need to sports this like we were talking about earlier about the sports part of the entertainment. Like we don't need to justify him being the number one contender. He's fucking The Rock, so he doesn't need to be in the Rumble, but it would be exciting.
It would be exciting, and that starts the honorable path, right?
Right. Yeah. Now,
and now part of this too that we're not dealing with yet is it's been talked about at the time of this recording. It appears that Seth Rollins has a torn MCL.
I don't know which cable.
We're not physical therapists.
I don't know
on
which
the show,
cable
so
channel he's torn, but it is.
He's torn his UHF.
Thank you very much.
And
he may or may not be ready by Mania, and he is the current world heavyweight champion.
Champion.
He's the current he is the disputed WWE.
That's right. So that also plays into, do you have, I don't think they would do something where the Rumble's now for that title or that,
I mean,
for the vacant spot, or how funny would that be? It's like, you won the Rumble. Do you want that title or do you want to fight Roman Reigns? Wait, I can just have it.
This is what I was going to say. All right. I have an idea for that. If it's a heel who wins, because Seth, whether we like it or not, is a baby face and people are cheering him. They sing a song. They like him. He is fun to people that aren't you. Your face right now. God, this is why you got to become a patron, guys. So you could watch the physical reactions that I get out of Scott when I say something like, people like Seth.
Unbelievable.
So if you have a heel win the Rumble and say, I'm challenging Seth at Mania and I'd rightfully earn that spot. If he doesn't show up, that's a forfeit. And then you can have Adam Pearce. Who's on Raw? Is Adam Pearce? No, who's on SmackDown? Wait, who's who?
Nick Aldis.
Thank you.
Teabag.
Thank you, Teabag. So you can have Teabag. No, Teabag is Roman. It is Adam Pearce that's doing.
The fuck you talking? SmackDown is Nick Aldis. Adam Pearce is Raw.
Okay, and so Seth Rollins is on Raw. So yes. Adam Pearce is the GM. You can have Adam Pearce say to Seth Rollins, I'm sorry, bud, but he did win the Rumble and he's challenging you and you're the champion. And so if you cannot compete, you're going to have to forfeit the title. And then the entire build is, will he or will he not make it? And then we don't know until the final minute. And then his music hits and then they can have a match. And, whether or not he's ready to compete or not, maybe he's not really ready to compete, but he competed anyway and he loses and we can all cheer for him because he fought on a injured whatever, even though,
What an idiot.
Yeah.
He showed up against doctor's orders, laughing the whole way for some reason.
Right. Also, by the way, Mickey Bell in the chat says we should know more after Raw tonight. This is a very good point. We are recording this Monday during the day before Raw, and we might know
writing the script for Raw.
Yeah, we might know by the time you guys hear this, you might know already what's happening with the World Heavyweight Championship. But it does change things, though.
what is at stake is the Roman Reigns championship. That's again, the top spot.
Yeah. Are there any other surprise people who might be actual contenders for that spot?
I'd say some other potential surprise people. I don't know if Andrade has a 90-day no compete after leaving AEW, whether he could be a surprise entrant. I don't think we've seen Omos for a while. Granted, I've not watched all the shows in full because they're so fucking long. Yeah. I don't know if he could be around. That could be a fun return.
Yeah.
God damn, do they love Pat McAfee for some reason? He could show up. Oh my
God. You're right.
Do that. I think some NXT people. I think this could be a good time to showcase Lexus King, formerly Brian Pillman Jr.
Right.
To just get him out there and get him exposed and just have people talking. I think that could be a fun one, because if you're doing Jade Cargill, why not double up? And while it wouldn't be the same type of debut, it would just be like, hey, look, we got your fucking toys. We have Punk, we have Cody, we have this one, we have that one. Like, just do it. A
Braun Breaker in NXT.
He still hasn't shown up for Rumble yet, right?
I feel
everybody keeps thinking he's going to show up. And
I feel like
it's yet to happen.
I feel like Braun could probably show up, and they could probably make a big deal out of him.
Yeah,
especially because I don't think he's in a title picture anymore. There with Ilya being the Ilya being the champion.
Dragunov. That I feel you do one of those two, right? You don't do both.
No, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I think Braun, Ilya would be cool, no doubt. But I think Braun's got to be transitioning pretty soon, because I feel like he's going to be the next
Ryback
long-term megastar. Put the meat on the table.
Yeah. God, if he comes out and starts saying "feed me more," I would laugh my fucking ass off. I got a weird one for you.
What if he said, "Let's have food"?
Let's have food, or feed me the appropriate amount.
Fix my last name.
Please take a K.
Or give me a Steiner.
I got a weird one. He's not weird. He's employed by the company.
Oh.
But he's sitting on the commentary table. What about Wade Barrett?
That's 38 people.
I was going to say the name right afterwards. See, you have to wait. Sometimes I build for effect.
I am Vengeance's own Wade Barrett?
Yeah. What about Wade Barrett? I mean, I like him so much on commentary that I don't want him to get away from that position. But if it's a one-off, like, hey, see if he still got it kind of thing, that would be a fun way to do that. And I would believe in a moment that they're like, maybe not that he'd win it, but that he's a contender.
If they hadn't done that spot a lot, right? Like they've done Booker T takes off the jacket, JBL takes off the jacket, Lawler takes off the jacket. Like they've done it a lot.
I guess in this instance, he's not calling the Rumble.
Oh,
in my mind, he wasn't one of the. I don't know who's going to be calling it, which combination of the 38 people, but yeah,
I certainly would like to hear him call it, because I've been liking his work a whole lot lately.
Me too. That's why I was like, I don't want to lose that.
So that's tough. Yeah, I mean, I certainly always want him to come back and go, because I feel like he never got his just due.
Right.
But unless they're going to follow through with it, I also kind of, it's like, well, then don't do it. Don't just be a jobber to all these guys. But it'd be fucking cool to see Barrett go back into it and do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lawler's good to do one more. I mean, dealing with stroke victims and stuff, but I can certainly see it vying for, like, give me that one last spot. Yeah. If he were good to go, that'd be a nice, sweet, sentimental, hey, let's have this old guy take one last 10-foot bump. What do you say?
Yeah.
Scripts.
I was thinking about people who I'm like, I desperately don't want to show up that have been talked about. X-Pac is being talked about. Like there's lots of rumors about him. I also don't want Kane. I don't want fucking Donald Trump's own Kane, Glenn Jacobs to show up.
Knox County's Kane?
I could
what if he was corporate Kane?
I'm not gonna lie to you. If Vince was still like running all of creative, Kane, the second orange fuckface mentioned Kane on his campaign trail / court tour. Vince was going to call him up like, you got to come back on TV. Trump's saying your name.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me ask you this question. I mean, we're out of time. We're just about out of time anyway. But I want to talk because Punk. We haven't talked a lot about Punk in this episode, and lots of other episodes we've talked a lot about him. But if Punk's in the Rumble, right, early enough, if he's not number fucking 30, which I'm really hoping doesn't happen.
Yeah, I want somewhere in the teens. Right. I'd say.
I was bummed that Cody was 30. I understood it, but I was still bummed by it. If Punk is early enough, this is going to be the first time that we get to have so many moments with both people he used to know and work with and brand new people, even just face-offs. Are there any people in there that you're excited about?
Oh, that is a great question.
I have one really stupid one, and that is Gallows. I want him.
Does he still work there?
The Straight Edge Society. I want to have a Straight Edge Society moment where Punk tells Gallows that he needs to listen to him because I saved you. I want to have a moment where Punk is pleading to him like, listen, I saved you. Come on.
I'd rather have Jesse show up and ring a bell.
Oh, all right.
And see if Festus comes out.
That would be the best. But yeah, I mean, there's so many people.
Punk interactions.
Punk and Kofi. If Kofi's not actually out, I know that they kayfabe injured Kofi, but I think it was only for a week.
I think so.
But like Punk and Kofi, I look forward to seeing if they have some fun business to do.
Punk and Orton.
Oh wait, but Orton is probably not going to be in it.
Oh right.
The question is, do we think that the Roman match, the what is it called? The undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Do we think that's going to close out the show, or do we think that the men's Rumble will happen after that?
Men's Rumble will close out the show.
If I could see either of those three men actually appearing in the Rumble, assuming that match happens earlier in the night. I don't want it because there's already so many people, but I could see. And honestly, Orton would be the one.
There are so many other people.
So many fucking people.
So many. Like we've got Jinder back in the limelight. We've got fucking. Like I said, some of the people that we didn't mention. Kofi. We got Xavier. We have got. It's a fucking lot, man.
I mean, there's a lot of big stars right now. You've got
Akira Tozawa.
All of Judgment Day, all of non-Judgment Day with the AOP group with what's his face. You've got the feuding Latino community. We've got
you got Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I mean
you've got a potential Braun Strowman returning.
Oh right, yeah.
You've got Alpha Academy.
We never know when Brock is going to show up.
You got Dexter Loomis. And again, like half the people we could be mentioning are fucking injured.
Right,
but
of course. But it is a lot of people.
There's a lot. We've got the other
Drew
from Imperium.
McIntyre, which I know we talked about, like not really, I don't think he's going to win it, but yeah.
But he's got some definite momentum of a contender going, right? We got the Usos.
Yeah. Well, all of Bloodline. Well, Solo. I could see them putting a lot of attention on Solo in this.
Got Karrion Kross.
Assuming that they're in it.
Right?
God, it really is a stacked roster. Maybe Cena comes back. We just saw him back not that long ago.
It's for Mania season that there could be some time where he shows up for that. If you can't get Rock, but you want to set up something with Cena and do that, I could totally see that.
The Coffee Brothers. Yeah,
it's a fucking lot.
There is a lot.
I think those other guys in the world title match are out, and they're going to focus on all the other people, and that's because if any of those people this is getting complicated. No one's vying for Seth's title, so they're not trying to win to get that, and that's the only title match being featured at Rumble. So it'd be weird for them to fight for the title, lose, and then go, I'm going to try again in the same night.
Yeah, I get it.
So they're out.
I get it.
So I think there's a lot of possible people. I'm wondering, are we gonna get the Kofi Rumble spot? I think we have a 2 now where it didn't go.
There's also Ricochet now, who's also their crazy acrobat guy. I don't know if he's also out, but yeah.
If we're gonna get the crazy spot,
not just Jinder being back, but Jinder's fucking henchmen, the Sangha and Zangief. I don't know what their names are, but
Veer?
Those, yeah, Veneer, yeah, maybe that's right.
Not a veneer.
What'd you say?
Veer,
yeah, you're right. Veer, yeah. I mean, those dudes are fucking enormous. There's just so
and
many
you definitely also want to get that international play.
Right.
You want to make sure you have, some international stars. So the world is watching. The world is interested in Mania, and I think they have yet to really make a bigger splash for the mainstream audience.
Well,
yeah. So I think winner.
Yeah.
Who do you go with the winner for the men's Royal Rumble?
It's really, really tough, but I feel like Punk, I both want and I think needs to win this.
Really?
Yeah. It's his first match back, and he's definitely going to be in the final 2 at least. I think that Cody coming back and doing it again makes sense for the way WWE likes to book shit. He'll get a back-to-back, the first time in a long time that we've had a back-to-back. He will maybe challenge Roman one more time at Mania. I don't know. We'll see what The Rock is doing. But it makes sense from the way WWE writes stuff. And it wouldn't be a bad story either, because we all were left with blue balls after the fucking last Mania when we thought, this is it. All right. They're set up Cody to do it. And it would be a nice way for them to make good on the year-long, God, I can't believe that didn't happen, that we're all still reeling about. But you bring back Punk, you're making a big deal out of him, you're having him come out, you're having him talk smack to everybody and anybody. To have him not win the Rumble, unless, like you said, we're going to see who Gunther's opponent will be, unless you're going to draw a giant circle around what Punk is going to do in the Rumble for the next couple months or the next month even.
Because it seemed like it was going to be Seth for his world title. Yep. So if that's out, for me personally, the fucking excitement of Punk fighting anybody else at Mania is through the roof.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think Punk coming back and winning. If Punk comes back or
he could fight Pat McAfee.
McPatafee? I don't know. I don't know why I did that. It just made me laugh.
Punk versus Veer.
Listen, Gilbert says Veer is coming in the chat. It is very ominously. Is he here? Is Veer Palski? I didn't know that. Welcome, Veer. I'm sorry I called you Veneer. I didn't mean to do that. I hope that you are championship Palskis, that you can win a title for once.
Yeah, so Mickey Bell doesn't have to win 2 times in a row.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that Punk winning is good. If Punk enters and is eliminated in a very big, clear, I can't wait to watch Monday Night Raw kind of moment, then fine. But other than that, I kind of think with everything that went down, with the way Punk arrived, with the exit of AEW, it just seems like, just let him. And also, he's never won a Rumble. Yeah. I think Punk.
So that's a think and want?
Yes, that's a think and want. That is a think and want. Yes.
I'll tell you who I want.
Okay.
The person who, to me, has got the most fun momentum, and it's the thing we've always talked about, like the shakeup of let someone win the Rumble to establish that anyone can actually win the Rumble. Sure, top competitors, yes, but fucking anybody. If you're going to do it any fucking year, you got 2 titles still, and you could still have the Roman thing in question, and that'd be huge and all that, but you could still get away with it, and I don't think a single person would be fucking upset.
R-Truth?
Have R-Truth win the fucking Royal Rumble.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, especially with how stacked this Rumble is as far as star power.
Yes.
It would be.
And you're setting up potential other matches and the final people in R-Truth. Not the thing where he's under the ring.
I've still never forgiven Alberto Del Rio. They made me permanently hate Alberto Del Rio, even before there were plenty more reasons to hate him.
I was going to say,
no,
you should meet him. That'll do it too.
when I thought Santino won the Rumble and they took that away from me, you ruined an entire career for me. Even if, let's say, Alberto ended up being this incredible, honestly, even if Alberto ended up being like the big huge star that they thought he would be, to this day I'd be like, no, fuck that guy. I don't care. I don't get him off my television because when I thought Santino won, I lost my shit. I had so much joy. And for once I went, they did it. They did the thing that they always advertise.
Yeah.
You can't, it's been 40
R-Truth could be that guy. Yeah. I don't think that takes the Rumble down. I don't think that makes it a joke in any way. I think it makes it exciting. If you play that part up all the time and you say there's 2 Rumbles and then he is on Raw and he is going for the Raw title and then it's still like, who's going to face Roman? Because maybe even R-Truth is like, wait, Roman? Wait, he's at the title. Oh, I'm not fighting him.
Never mind.
Like, that could work with him. That could be the stuff we're talking about with the women.
He could challenge.
That plays it down. Like,
he could just start looking for the 24/7 championship. Like, where is it? They're like, it doesn't exist anymore. Shit. All right. So who are my choices again?
The lovable CTE plagued wrestler of WWE, R-Truth, could carry all this. It'd be fine.
Now you made it.
I think it will be Cody.
Yeah. You think it will be Cody?
It will be Cody. I think so, but I love that there's so many actual possibilities. But it seems like what you said with the story of everything Cody, that'll be
Gilbert in the chat just said, imagine if R-Truth wins the Rumble, wins the title, and then Damian Priest immediately cashes in on him. Oh. I mean, that's good TV.
That's heartbreaking TV.
But good TV. And R-Truth is a former world heavyweight champion.
I mean, this is a time for a shakeup like that, and I think
this would be the best. This would be the best thing I've ever heard. I'm sold on this. Fuck CM Punk. R-Truth, or we riot.
So yes, I did keep the conversation going. Call in our Discord. I think everyone's going to be watching the Rumble in real time. I think I'll be watching with people, so I probably won't be in there chatting that much.
Right. I'm also going to, for the first time in 40 I'm only 40 years old. In 20 years, I get to watch the Rumble with my cousin Paul. I'm so fucking excited.
Oh, glad I was invited.
You're not going to make it. You're way too busy. You're not coming to New York.
Well, yeah, because cousin Paul would never invite me to anything.
Well, definitely not
even if I were in town.
Definitely not a wedding.
Ugh.
Anyways,
well, that's fun. You guys are going to be chit-chatting. You going to make a video?
I wasn't going to. No. Oh, okay. I wasn't planning on it. Don't put that out there.
You guys going to watch Hog or Road Wild?
Well, he's still working his way through it. So he's going to have Hog Wild on his laptop while I watch the Rumble on the TV is my guess. That's fair. Well, we should go take a hotline call. We went on a little longer than I anticipated, but it's the Rumble and we're excited. There's so many things at play,
and that goes on longer than anticipated.
By the way, Gilbert did say Cody might win next year after Roman breaks Hogan's title record. We didn't talk about that too, but there's also this whole thing about Roman losing the title and whether or not they want him to beat Hogan's record, and that's why people are like, "Oh, whoever faces Roman, he's not losing this year." And I'm kind of in that camp as well, which is why, do something with Seth's title, at least. Because Rock doesn't need it. Just have Rock walk in and go, I want the fucking the Universal Championship. And they go, okay, bye. All right. Anyways, kids, it is time for us to do a hotline call or two. Before we get out of here, though, we must once again acknowledge current PWP World Champ AJ0314, a.k.a. Binary. If you would like to challenge Binary for that championship in February, you got to become a championship level Palski over at patreon.com/PWPalskis. That's patreon.com/PWPalskis. Thank you guys who have joined us. We hope you had fun. We're going to take some hotline calls. Scott, say goodbye to the live stream.
Bye, live stream. May your rumbles be bright and be merry.
747-666-5606. That is the number to the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline. Scott and Arver, you want to see what we got in the hotline today?
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Palskis, what's going on? It's Tim Redbeard from Connecticut. Hope everyone is doing well, staying safe, feeling good. We'll definitely be purchasing the next wrestling game. I just always get it. But if this one does have the Bray Wyatt sort of DLC, or they have essentially all of his personalities in there, I will go through the moon. And especially if they sneak Punk in there, some late DLC. I don't know if they will. It might be too late, but either way, it'd be great. I wanted to ask you about something that came in my head about potential WrestleMania main event. I saw this clip of Paul Heyman and CM Punk a bunch of years ago about Heyman saying he would be by CM Punk's side as a main event at WrestleMania because he loved him. And now that Seth Rollins is out, do you think there is any possibility of Rock beating Reigns at the Rumble, Heyman being in Punk's corner at a potential WrestleMania main event between The Rock and CM Punk? I think that beats Roman Reigns and The Rock, honestly. Take care of yourself. Peace.
Tim Redbeard from Connecticut. Okay, a lot of little things here. So first, before we get into the thick of the end of that, he's talking about excitement for 2K24, W2K24. As of this morning, I think the trailer dropped.
Yes.
Really cool looking trailer. They're really leaning into the finish the story theme, which is nice. And even though the trailer is kind of creepy with some of the weird CGI faces, still
it's because that kind of gave me hope for what this could potentially be. I don't know if it'll be in the game, but the CGI faces, but it's almost mocap because it seems like that they had the wrestler
come
in and perform lines, but they added it on the CGI'd computer body of the wrestler
because they wanted Hogan from 1983 to be talking, not
and Austin from 1998.
Exactly.
But I thought the potential of that could be fucking really cool for cutscenes or for to make to
give lines and
fucking things in the game, and rather than just like, oh, the writers also wrote the generic script for the game and they're saying the same things. Like, if you had that shit in the game, that could be really fucking cool.
Yeah, voice performances, actual that could be good.
And then just add them on that. Like, I'm fine with that. But there's new features, there's new things. There's Pharaoh
is going to be in the Nightmare Family download. That's really good. But Tim Redbeard said that he's definitely getting it anyway because he always gets it. But he's going to be very excited if they release the Wyatt as like all the different personalities of Wyatt. And he's hopeful that they can sneak Punk in there somehow. I don't think Punk will be in there immediately, but I think he'll be a DLC eventually within the next year.
I would think so too.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll make the cut for this game,
right?
Right. That's like, I mean, that's just easy money. If they did they made an extra fucking Bad Bunny,
right,
in last year's game,
right?
Totally. That wasn't part of the season pass,
right?
Yeah. Everyone will go, I get it. That's fine. You can do additional Punk DLC. We'll pay for it.
Right. All right. So he's talking about Paul Heyman talking about his love for CM Punk, saying that he will gladly be in Punk's corner in the main event of WrestleMania, given the opportunity. He posits here, what if Rock beats Roman at Rumble, which I don't know if he left this message before the announcement of the match was made, but don't know where that premise starts from. But we could just play with what if by the time the Mania comes around, Rock has beaten Roman at some point. Then what if Heyman flips on Roman to go join Punk, and it's Rock versus Punk at Mania with Heyman in Punk's corner is what he is pitching here.
So a repeat, right? From Rumble of, what was it, 2013 or something like that?
Maybe, yeah. Sounds right.
My year might be way off.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what it was before. I'm down for a lot of stuff. Right. I don't know if I like the speculation. I don't foresee it happening. I don't think that is the big money match in all of this.
No, I think that Roman is bigger than
Rock did that.
Yeah, and I think that Roman is bigger than Tim Redbeard here has given him credit for. I think, yes, Tim, I agree with you. I like this, and these are guys that I am excited about because they're our favorite old action figures. But I do think that Roman is at a point now where he's that's the main event at WrestleMania, you know.
We're getting so little out of Rock at this point.
Right. Yeah.
And he's made it pretty clear he's trying to make this stuff with Roman work.
Yeah.
And I don't, as I think a younger Rock would have been like, let's work with this Gunther guy too. Let's do some business. Sure. Hey, let's do something with, it's not happening anymore. Yeah. There's a lot of guys where he's probably like, that's great. I'm not doing that. I got to get back to work in Hollywood and remain unscathed.
Now
I can do that with my cousin.
Now, with that said, I could see a world where at some point, you know, within the next year or two, as the bloodline story kind of comes to an end, whether it's Roman losing to Rock or who knows what, I could see them sort of rehashing the Roman Brock story, but with CM Punk instead, where Roman starts questioning the wise man's allegiance because, hey, CM Punk is your original, you know, that's your guy. And, you know, then maybe we start getting kind of what we had with Brock, where it's like, we don't know where, you know, Heyman's allegiance lies. And like, oh, maybe Rock is, maybe Heyman is going to end up with Punk. And maybe that, you know, I could see that happening down the road where we get Punk versus Roman with, you know, I know it's a Paul Heyman on a pole match. But thanks for the call, Tim. Great to hear from you. And I'm also excited for how nice the new video game looks.
Does look a good game.
Hey guys, it's Mickey Bell here in Gibraltar. It's been a minute, but I wanted to send a message because we've got the Royal Rumble this weekend, which I'm so excited about. I love this time of year, and I love this match when they do it right, when the crowd doesn't turn on the show. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's really interesting. There's only like 5 or 6 guys that have been announced for the men's and 4 women that have been announced for the women. So I like that. They haven't told us everybody that's going to be in either Rumble. So I really, really like that. And I'm expecting, maybe this is a bad thing, but I'm expecting some surprises on both Rumbles. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be seeing it in London in a bar at 1 a.m. until 5 a.m. with a bunch of other crazy people. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm super excited. And I think it's possible that we may have... Oh gosh, here we go. I think it's possible that Bayley wins the Women's Rumble and maybe even Gunther wins the Men's Rumble. I think those are the 2 likely options. Could be Punk winning the Men's Rumble as well. There's just so many people at the moment that could win it. But I think those are the 2 most likely outcomes. So yeah, looking forward to it. And I hope you guys are all doing well. Love ya.
Mickey Bell. Thanks, bud. We love you too. And we hope you're doing well. I do think that he and I are on the same page about how I also said, oh, maybe it's Gunther, and if not, Punk. I didn't have Bayley on my radar, though. Unless, again, they're building to Bayley being ousted of Damage Control, where EO is part of that.
Oh, she gets Control-Alt-Deleted from Control-Alt-Delete.
No! But I could see that being the case. I don't know that they need a Rumble win for it, but also Bayley.
So Bayley would fight EO Sky?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because the story that they've been telling for a while was that, like, at first it was Io Sky was going to break out as the face of that, but now it's almost as if the whole team has sort of turned on Bayley, and they're kind of eyeing you like, you don't belong here. You know, like,
isn't there only one other lady? Is there more than one?
It's 4. It's Bayley, Io, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. And Dakota. And Dakota.
Wait, so there's 5?
There's 5 of them, yeah.
Holy shit, I am not up to date on that one at all.
So that could be,
Why not just keep going?
With that.
Go fucking full NWO on this. Just like everybody, just fucking Scott
They're already
Norton
doing that
and
with
Control-Alt-Delete.
But anyways, I couldn't see them. I 100% can see them doing that. And I do think that Bayley is kind of at a point now where, as part of the, you know, the 4 horsewomen of NXT or whatever it was, like, her star has seemingly faded a little bit. And I do think that a Rumble win could be very good for her career and her character and being able to like, you know, hang her.
So then is she becoming a face then through this? She's becoming the breakout face?
I feel like she would become the breakout face because the team would turn on her.
So then you have her grow her hair out between now and Mania to be loved, because you cannot cheer a short-haired woman. You can't do it. It's disgusting.
And then what else they say? Yeah, that was it. Gunther. He likes Gunther.
I like Gunther too, but it's not time yet.
Yeah.
That is a fucking long-term investment, and it is going to pay off huge.
Right. Thanks so much for the call, Mickey.
Call more often, Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will say this too, real quick to his experience that I got to do that the 1 year, the year that Punk left of the Royal Rumble, but that experience of watching the Rumble at an English, pub or a bar,
right,
until the wee hours of the morning, and with those rabid fans, that is a fucking experience. So as cool as it is to go to a Rumble, that's its own wild experience. If you ever get to do it, it's fucking great.
All right, let's see what else we got in the hotline.
Hey guys, this is Alice Rader, aka Invasion, aka Evageois. Hope you guys are doing well and staying warm in these wintry, snowy days. I myself will be headed to Miami shortly to get on the Jericho cruise for the 5th time. So I will keep you posted about activities on that. And I wanted to ask, I know there was some discussion on the Discord, but if you had a chance to have dinner or I'm going to say a smaller meet and greet, say with like 10 people and a wrestling superstar, who would you want to go to? Who would you want to be there? Like, who would you want to do the meet and greet with? And how much are you actually willing to pay for that experience? Now, again, the dinner with Jericho or the cruise is something like $2,500 and you got a belt, something like, I'm not paying that much. But who would you have dinner with, right? Who would you do the meet and greet with, and about how much would you pay? All right, guys. I will talk to you when I get back. Have a good one.
Alice Rader, going on the Jericho vid cruise. Best of luck to you. We love you very much, and we pray for your safety.
5 times strong. This must be a blast.
Seriously, yeah.
That's got to be pretty cool. Like if it, it probably checks a lot of boxes. If you're like you're into cruises, and it's a vacation, and it's all things wrestling.
Wrestling fans everywhere.
And who knows? Maybe a little hooking up on the cruise.
You never know.
Happens on the cruise, stays on the cruise.
They don't call her Raider for nothing. Because she raids your underwear. She raids your underwear drawer like in Nerds, like her Avenging Us in Nerds. Okay,
Against.
Yeah, that was the movie I saw.
What
did you see?
That's the fucking Jocks winning.
What did you see?
That's Ogre.
That's what. Yeah,
Triumphant.
That's my favorite. No, it's not Ogre. I keep telling you this. That's just Braun Strowman. Okay, so
he wishes. He fucking wishes.
I'm gonna put this question out to the listeners because I wouldn't pay $1 for any of it.
Come on.
No, I don't. I am not paying. No, I would not pay.
Even in your fandom heyday. Granted, I'm a little bit more jaded now. There's a lot of people like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little. That's my problem is I'm too jaded.
But I'm taking myself back a little bit. And also it's like, hey, it's a vacation. It's fun. Now, the question I have about this is, because it's probably, it's 10 randos, right?
Right.
Like you're not sitting with 10 of your buddies.
Right.
Or sorry, 9 of your other buddies, right? You're going to be sitting with 9 other mouth breathers who you're like, don't ask that. Don't ask about Owen Hart's death. Jesus Christ, we're having a meal. Some like you have to worry about that, or that somebody stinks at the table where they just eat with their hands.
Yeah.
And it's soup.
Oh, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. I don't know. I would more likely. Who
do you most want to meet?
This is Table for Me. We've done this. This is all a Patreon show we used to do.
Yeah, but this is now a table for me on a cruise ship that it's someone that will go on Jericho's cruise. So the options are can be limited, or just who.
I just don't like meeting wrestlers anymore. It all sounds like a nightmare. I think that
even a lady wrestler,
Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I feel like he would just be normal. But also this is the problem with this. The problem with the premise is if it's
real,
10 people, 10 civvies, and then a pro wrestler, that pro wrestler is uncomfortable because they are entertaining 10 people. if this was me and a buddy that I got to bring.
That's not true. It could be someone like Curtis Axel who can't entertain anybody.
If it was me and a buddy and then 4 or 5 wrestlers who all just hang out and know each other, and you got to just be with them while they spoke to one another and talked and told stories, that to me is so much more entertaining than 9 or 10 people staring at one person going like, cool, remember when you did that thing? It seems to me like I would excuse myself from the table, and then I would apologize to the one wrestler. I'm so sorry. Have a great day.
Okay. So you'd sign up for Kevin Owens and immediately leave and apologize.
And then I'd read the room. I'd see how into it he was. And if he was, I'd be like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I would just leave for the rest of the day.
But say it's Paul. It's Paul and Paul, cousin Paul right. Bianchi, your fiance.
Well, if it's 3 Pauls,
sister,
then I'm picking Paul Heyman just because I want to be the Jake.
It's your 10. It's your 10. Right. It's 10 of you're okay. You get, they all get a pass. You're right. Okay with them all. Right. And you get to have a meal with somebody. Is it Kevin Owens, and how much you dropping?
No, it's not Kevin Owens if it's a bunch of people. No. If it's like a bunch of wrestling nerds, that's where I go Kevin Owens. But if it's just like me and people,
I'm saying it's your people. It's your 10.
I mean, I don't know. I probably go. I don't fucking know. Who do you? I don't know. It's a matter of who do I think would actually be entertaining in front of her. It'd have to be like Cena or The Rock or somebody who I think would be like who knows how to like play to a room and is like a big personality. Batista.
Oh Jesus, that's the last. All right.
No.
I think you totally misread Batista.
Yeah, no, you're right. I realized right after I said that, I went, no, never mind. That seems miserable. Yeah, man, it's got to be The Rock. Let's just go The Rock.
The Rock, how much you paying?
$40.
$40
total for all of our friends. Oh, right. Yeah. No, if the dinner is like really fucking good, then you know what? Then you know what? Yeah, that's. I'll pay $100 American.
And you're getting to watch The Rock eat some steamed chicken and broccoli.
Yeah. And he better fucking sing that Moana song. I swear to God.
Oh.
I'm gonna be like, hey Rock, could you pass me the salt? And then when he passes the salt, I'm gonna go, thank you. Really big. Do you get it? Thank you. And I'm gonna nudge him. And then he's gonna go, you're welcome.
I would not sit at your table. If I were one of your 10, I would not sit with you. That is for sure. I'd pay to not sit with you in The Rock.
I respect that.
Guaranteed. I'm really trying to think of who. Like who's almost dead? Who hasn't died yet? Because there's definitely some legendary guys. Like I would have paid for Piper for sure.
Sure.
Piper's an easy like sit down at dinner.
Foley. Not that he's at that age, but like, you know,
Foley wouldn't like me sitting at a table with 10 people.
No.
Sitting at a table with one person, he'd still be like, ugh, no thanks. I've sat at a table of 4 with X-Pac and he didn't like me. Son of a bitch. I hope you don't come back to the Rumble. Who'd be a fun one to really sit down and chat with? Like, I like what you say about it's, you know, the stories and they're probably doing the entertaining, but you want to do a little riff back and forth.
Jake?
I've sat dinner with you and you're just always talking about like what you want to eat, what you don't want to eat, and ew, what's that? And you're grossed out. So no, sorry, Jake. It's nice to have a meal with you on occasion, but no. Big Swole.
JR. Okay, great. Big Swole.
Tell me about that back and forth. You know, I would pay money to sit down to have dinner with Tony Khan.
Well, plus you get coke out of it.
Even with 10, give me the 10 fucking weirdest fans. I don't care. There is no parameters. You give me 10 fans and Tony Khan and sitting down for dinner.
You're right.
I do that. Right. I do.
Now,
I go $200.
$200. Now, if you could give me 2, I would pay upwards of $500 to sit down with Daniel Bryan and Ryback.
No Ziggler.
Doesn't matter. If it's everybody else, as long as Bryan's there, because Bryan's the instigator, he's the bully, right? So you need him. Ziggler might just be nice if Bryan's not around. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
No. I want to sit down with Bryan and just have him just watch him just fucking roast Ryback for an hour.
That'd be good.
That'd be great. Alice, we love you so much. Thank you so much for your call. Very
have
fun.
A blast.
Very fun question. We hope you have a fantastic time on the cruise.
Post photos.
We hope
tell
you
stories. Always call the hotline if there's fun stories to tell us about. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah, and we hope that you do some A+ rating. That'll do it for this week's show. Hey everybody, go to pwpalskis.com. That is your one-stop shop for all things Pro Wrestling Palskis. Snag yourself some sweet merchandise. We got lovely hats, we got mugs, we've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies. Really, really, really great stuff there.
Footy pajamas
and more stuff coming.
Back in stock.
The footy pajamas, there are back in. Oh fuck! Oh no, we just got 1,000 orders, and
what?
They're all gone. We only had.
They must be giveaways for the Jericho cruise.
We only had 999 of the footy pajamas, and they're all gone. So maybe those will be back in stock soon.
So Alice Rader's probably going to get them all.
Probably.
Cole Cabana is probably going to be wearing them the whole time.
But please consider supporting the show by snagging yourself some merchandise. It's really good stuff. It's really high quality, really soft shirts, really great hoodies, really nice phone cases. We've got phone cases for pretty much every single Samsung Galaxy and iPhone that still works. I think it goes all the way back to like the 10s. Like if you have iPhone
it's
9.
my cutoff. Like it's whatever I got. Like Jake went, nah, I made the one right past that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have a prediction because there is a blowing up on our Discord. Just fucking people. I'm surprised I didn't see any of that gif of Fry from Futurama saying, shut up, take my money. This hot dog Hogan.
All right, so I made
that you had alluded to.
I made the hot dog Hogan. Yeah, he's done.
You've been making the designs. People are going crazy for this.
Okay, so the hot dog Hogan.
I predict 2024. Every phone case in the world.
Oh wow, the entire world
is a hot dog Hogan.
I have bad news. The show will be over because if we sell that many, I am not doing this podcast anymore. I'm going to be preoccupied with swimming through my money like Scrooge McDuck.
Only a duck can swim through coins like that and not break their neck.
Hot dog Hogan. I'm calling it Hot Dog Mania. Should be available in the shop by next week. So we should have those up. I wasn't gonna do a phone case, but now that you said phone case, I think all right, fine. Maybe we'll. The problem is that here's the problem with phone cases: fucking front-facing cameras. They make it so that in order to design like a one-fits-all design, it has to be kind of little because so many phone cases have such a giant goddamn camera on the front that it'll cut out the design. So that's why I wasn't going to make it, because it's a tall, skinny design versus a round or a square design fits better. But now that you said it, I'll make it work. Maybe he's on an angle. I don't know. I'll find a way to make Hogan a Hot Dog Mania work on a phone, but it'll definitely be on a t-shirt and maybe a hoodie. The hoodie might be fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is everything on a hat.
Yeah. So get all that stuff at pwpalskis.com. There you can find a link to the Discord. You can find the phone number and email to the hotline 747-666-5606 or hotline at pwpalskis.com. You can also find a link to the Patreon. The best way to support the show is by becoming a patron at any tier. There are so many perks to becoming a patron. There is a minimum of 7,000 hours of shows to listen to. You will never not have PWP. And that goes all the way back, all the way to the Compadres days. There is so much material on there. Once you unlock a tier, you unlock its tier through all of history. So you can go back years and years and years and years. Scott Narver, that'll do it for the show this week. The last thing we got to do is thank our current Pro Wrestling Palski patrons.
Yes, this is the only show that hands out Retribution names as well as Maximum Male Model names. Why? Because no one asked us to. So thank you to AJ0314, aka Binary, aka Matrice69, aka the current PWP champ, Alex Pierce, aka Figs, aka Zitoys, Alice Raider, aka Invasion, aka Yves Joie, Andrea Beeler, aka Pollen Hate, aka Achu Detest, Curtis Mason, aka Herdus, Gilbert Short, a.k.a. Goliathon, a.k.a. Batal Underoos, Mass Llama, a.k.a. Spitz, a.k.a. Jakara Lover, Michael Beltran, a.k.a. Limestone, a.k.a. La Natural, Miguel Diaz, a.k.a. Bipod, a.k.a. Too Much Husk, Mike Lucas, a.k.a. Hackensack, a.k.a. Luger Testicle, Suicide, a.k.a. Tim Bemis, a.k.a. War Trek, a.k.a. Tussle Quest, Tim Redbeard, a.k.a. Blood Fuzz, a.k.a. Blue de Fusée, Tom Hader, a.k.a. Cupid, a.k.a. Cherub, and Tony Griggs, a.k.a. Big Griggs, a.k.a. Grand Grisois.
Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support of this show. We hope you had fun hanging out with us. Always a blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hi there. My name is Steven Sable. I'm a theater producer, director, and actor of the stage who truly loves the works of William Shakespeare. We all know the writer and his legendary stories and sonnets and poems. A writer who took risks, exposed truths, and placed a mirror to the world and culture of his era. But who was Shakespeare the man? Wasn't that long ago that I discovered the answer to that question isn't as clear as I had always been told. Was he the grain dealer with a name that kind of sounds like Shakespeare, who never bothered to teach his own children to read? Or was the Shakespeare name itself a pseudonym used to protect the identity of a secret nobleman riding for the crown? Join me as I explore literary history's greatest mystery on my podcast, Don't Quill the Messenger. It's a part of Dragon Wagon Radio. You can find it now at don'tquillthepodcast.com and all available podcast platforms.
It's Dragon Wagon.